Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. Today is Sunday, October 27th. Welcome in. I'm Landon Raby. With me, the guy, Joey Boots. Joey, I guess this is the first time you've been on the show since your birthday, so officially happy birthday from the show.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a long weekend, dude. It was.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Well, Thursday, we had an event and then kind of just skipped it and ended up at Half Barrel by like 11. And then it was kind of like everyone just kind of showed up and we were like, my birthday isn't an hour. So you know how that goes. Thursday night was, and then Friday right back to it, Old City, and just trailing it, Ale Trail the whole way down. So definitely a good time hanging out with everybody, getting to celebrate. And
Did you say Snail Trail?
No. Ale Trail.
Ale Trail. Okay, got it. Wow, that was
two significantly different things.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, whatever you're. I don't want to know what you did then. If that's how it's going. But yeah, happy birthday. Hope it was good. Hope you get to relax some this week. You don't really get to because it's a bye week. You did relax on your bye week, so now it's Kentucky, the Mississippi State, both night games. So we'll get into that. We'll get into some exhibitions. Also, just kind of tell why we hate Kentucky, because I feel like that's good content, just saying why we hate them. But yeah, we'll get to it. If y'all have any questions, drop those in the chat. We'll be sure to get to those. And thank y'all for listening. First, before we get into it, guys, go check out Rhoback, rhoback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. It's getting that hoodie weather. I have my favorite hoodie from Rhoback. It's green, like a dark green. It looks good. It's not orange, but it is one of my favorite hoodies. So go check out Rhoback. They have the best quality clothing in the game. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. All right, let's get right into it. It's a bye week, so we kind of enjoyed not having to worry about games, but I feel like I worry more about it. Like I kind of don't think about the playoffs when we're playing. But when other people were playing, I'm like, okay, how can this impact us somehow?
Yeah. Well, you're watching so many games at once that you're like, you have the time. Like, obviously, on game day, you're just way too busy thinking about what's Tennessee going to do. But you get some free time, dude, especially when games are like in a lull. You start thinking too much, and then you start trying to think 4 weeks ahead and who needs to beat who, and who Texas A&M needs to lose to, and then LSU loses Texas A&M, and then Texas beats Texas. There's just a billion things going on.
Yeah, I stayed up super late last night just going through every scenario and going week by week on who needs to lose or who can lose, and I guess bookmarking those games on my ESPN app, getting those score updates. So I stayed up super late just doing that. If Tennessee just wins out, it doesn't matter. But there is this kind of thought that, yeah, you could drop one to Georgia. And then what happens? I think that's probably going to be a lot of madness, at the end. But also, we say that, and then the last, basically every year in the college football playoff, when it was just 4 teams, it kind of all worked out.
Right.
No one was upset other than the Florida State the last year, but also they weren't going to compete for a national championship. So I get it. other than that, it was kind of like the people that were in, you understood. So hopefully it just works itself out. You're not having to, oh, this resume is better than this resume and this and that. Like, hopefully it all works out in the end. I mean, college football has been insane. I mean, I watched BYU snap the ball twice on a fake field goal yesterday. Like, it was there's nothing normal about college football every single week. So Tennessee just needs to take care of business and see kind of where they find themselves in the end of the season. You go beat Georgia. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. Which I think
your
mindset, that kind of has to be your mindset right now. Like, the team's not sitting here like, well, guys, we can still get in if we lose to them, because like you don't. That's not how.
Yeah, and everybody's like, especially national media, has chalked it up as like Tennessee's going 10-2. I mean, we've seen Georgia look not good.
Right.
Against Kentucky, against Alabama in that first half, didn't look great. Carson Beck didn't look great against Texas in the first half either. So, yeah, they have some issues. And I understand Tennessee has its own issues that they have to worry about, and they got to take care of business. They got a Kentucky team that was, played with Georgia, who supposedly has a good defensive front. I don't know what happened yesterday, but has a pretty good defense. And then they got, obviously, Georgia. Mississippi State can score some points. Vanderbilt is weird.
Really weird.
They decided to be like they're kind of good, kind of not. I'm confused. I don't want to be built those if they're good or not.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, obviously we're looking super far ahead, but like, I think they want to do good against like the two top 5 teams that they've played. It's been a win and like really almost put together an insane string at the end of that Texas game to pull that off. But I feel like I'm not sitting here going like, dude, Tennessee really needs to like, and that's probably just awful clip. Like, if it does go down that way, that's just, I'm sure there's a clip of me just floating around, but I think they're more like let's just get super excited and try to shock the nation with Bama and Texas, and then we can still do our big brother thing.
Yeah,
but they look solid.
Yeah, and looking at Kentucky, I know we're not going to dig a whole lot into it because that's what we're going to do on Thursday on this show in studio at Fox Sports Knox. Be there, be square. I don't know what Kentucky's deal is with just renting a quarterback and thinking that it's going to work, but it hasn't worked in 3 years. 4 years, I guess. I guess Will Levis was our quarterback for 2 years. Is that right? I think so. I mean, it just doesn't work. I don't know why they keep doing it. They went Devin Leary last year. They go get Brock Vandagriff from Georgia, and he has been terrible. They put in Gavin Wimsatt. Don't even know who that is. Don't really know where he came from. Like I said, I'll dive in a little bit more to that. Where did he go to college before? Oh, he's at Rutgers. Oh, great. Okay. He looked not good yesterday. Auburn sucks.
Yeah,
and Auburn boat raced Kentucky yesterday, 24-10, and just carved them up on the ground, which we were told Kentucky's got a good defensive front. They gave up 7 yards per carry.
Yeah. And they
328 yards.
They put up 10 in the first quarter, and it was just kind of like, okay, this is going to be a slow kind of just ugly game. And then I somehow tuned back in like third quarter and was like, oh, that's right. Kentucky also sucks. But I didn't think they were getting 24 unanswered against Auburn. So,
I mean, Auburn rushed for 47 times, and somehow Auburn almost threw twice as many completions as Kentucky did yesterday.
They just look super inefficient. I mean, like I'm again, we'll get all into it later on in the week, but I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I mean, they have Dane Key and Barryon Brown, but they don't have a way to get them the football. So it's a disaster. Kentucky is an absolute disaster. I mean, Mark Stoops doesn't go to Texas A&M, and I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I think it's time for him to leave. But a lot of people are like, I mean, He's the best we've had. So besides Bear Bryant, obviously. But man, they're sitting here 3-5, 1-5 in the conference. Yikes. And I know that roster isn't that bad. I know it's not as good as some of the teams in the SEC, but it's not that bad. That loss to South Carolina hurts. Lost to Vanderbilt hurts. They did beat Ole Miss, which is crazy because that's probably the second toughest game they played, and they lost to Florida. I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse for
Kentucky. Florida.
Like, they just don't make any sense to me. Like, they held Georgia to 13 points, and they give up 48 to Florida. I mean, this team needs to make up their mind what they are defensively.
It's just college football this year. Yeah, and I love it.
That's true.
And I won't
win. It's a different team every week.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tennessee, you know exactly what we're getting in the first half. No points.
Exactly. And we're still winning. So,
yeah.
Look, if you can go beat Bama in Neyland off of 0 points in the first half, I'm fine right now. For now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And it is another night game. I just don't see a team coming in here. Like, Bama and Florida are two teams that, like, can come in here and they have that kind of – they just have done it. They just beat Tennessee and Neyland.
Right.
Kentucky does not.
Mm-mm.
No, I understand, like,
Kentucky
from the team standpoint, they have to just go. They have to play ball. They can't focus. But as a fan, we do not lose to Kentucky in Neyland Stadium.
No.
I think in the last 36 years, we've lost one time. It was during COVID. Doesn't count. Asterisk. So, yeah, Tennessee does not lose to Kentucky, period.
Yeah, I mean, those rivalry games, like you said, like Bama and Florida, like those are just such built-up rivalries that, like, you're going to find a way to not let the environment get you every other year. Like, Kentucky has not figured that out. They have no magic potion that's going to – I mean, again, Bama and Florida can turn that off when they step into Neyland, and it's still – like, them turning it off is – we saw it in Bama and Florida. Like, that place is just juicy this year, and it is every year. Kentucky is not. I mean, come on. They're not going to know what's going on.
No, I hope, like, they come in here and we just put it on them like we did in 2022. Like, it's just that bad of a game where they just quit.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I want KSR to just be in. Like, they're doing a good job right now because they're being quiet. I know one of their guys tried to, the whole $8 million volleyball player. And I'll be honest, for I think like a combined 26 minutes of the first quarter, I was like, I'm eating my own words here. I mean, obviously I trust Nico and that's an outrageous comment, but I was flustered.
Yeah.
And ever since
you just bookmarked that and want to throw it back in his face and you weren't able to yet.
Right. And so they've been quiet because I know that they can't. What are you going to say this week that doesn't bite you in the ass? If you're quiet and you go somehow pull it off, or it's even a close game, you can come out and be like, "Hey, like whatever." You talk mess this week and it backfires. As a Kentucky fan, you just don't watch any more football this season. Like, it's at that point you're just like, you're fighting for bowl eligibility. I don't know. So I don't expect to hear a lot from them this week. I'm sure KSR will still pump out some stupid stuff. It's the only content they can really farm is getting us riled up, but I don't expect to feel a lot of confidence behind their statements.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, Gerald Mincy have some comments in the offseason about Tennessee. I mean, those are things you kind of remember. Also, them at our tunnel last year at Kroger Field,
stupid,
like right before kickoff, like just
yeah.
And then they go out and lose. Like, that is ultimate embarrassment.
It is.
By Kentucky.
Again, it's
and I expect nothing less. Yeah.
Right. They gotta find an edge somewhere. I don't think they're ever gonna find it, but they're not gonna stop looking.
Yeah. I mean, Jarquez Hunter is still running the football on him. He had 278 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Dylan Sampson and Deshaun Bishop are like, sign me
Yeah.
up.
That's gonna be so much fun. Honestly, I hope we don't figure out the passing game this week. Let's just combine for 300 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dylan Sampson, Deshaun Bishop. Let's get Clay Keith. Let's get Peyton Lewis. Let's let everybody get some reps. I want to be up 40 going in the second half, and we just not a starter touches the field.
Yeah, I want a guy put in there that I don't know his name. I'm like, I've
Yes.
never heard of this white guy wearing number 46 carrying the football. That's what I want.
I love it. That's the goal.
Yeah.
What time do you want this game to be played at? Not what time. What are you like? You can pick, and it doesn't even have to be a slot. Like 5:15 counts.
I like 3:30. I don't like 3:30 CBS, but I like a 3:30
Right.
time slot where I can get home and watch other games.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy that.
7:45
think-
is brutal.
That's
It's late.
tough.
And I'll say
It's a
for
long day.
this game, it is a long day, dude. And like it's almost like you.
And we're gonna do it.
I fully believe Tennessee fans can keep the energy throughout the day. But like 3:30 is perfect because the energy is just like peaking.
Mhm.
Around 5-ish, 6 o'clock, it's hard to like, unless you just slept in all day and like started tailgating like 1 or 2. But for y'all that are out there at 7, 8 a.m., like you find a way, but it's hard to keep that energy. And also, I get, since it's like the night game and it's like Halloween weekend and it's like blackout and everything, I'm okay with the later game. But I think with this, I mean, I was dark by like 6:30 tonight.
Yeah.
Started like a 6:15 kickoff would be like ideal. 7:45, an hour and a half later. And look, I'm going all night. I'm fine. But I know that there's some geriatric folk in Neyland Stadium, and that's way past their bedtime. And I want 140 decibels.
Okay. I like that.
Let's just shatter the record against Kentucky. Let's get one more.
God, I mean, but they'll spin that and be like, "See, I told you we're their Super Bowl." That's exactly how they'll spin it.
If our Super Bowl is getting the noise record against them in an ass whooping, fine. If you want to run with that, please do. We'll see you not in the playoffs.
Yeah, they will be at the house. Let's see. So they need to win to be bowl eligible. They need to win 3 more games.
Can they find them? Because they've only got 4 more games, right? Yeah. So they have to, even if we beat them, they have to beat out Murray State, Texas, and Louisville.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the meltdown of Kentucky not going bowling? Yikes. And it's like not their schedule. Okay, it is Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia. That's tough.
Yeah,
You should
it's not
win
easy.
the other 7.
You should go 9-3. Even okay. Also, 7-5 with that schedule, we can still talk about it. You're not on track to go 7-5 unless you win out. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3-5. Yeah. 4 plus 3. That's 7. Quick math. Yeah. It's not looking great for Kentucky fans. I'll take it easy right now, but I'm sorry for you guys. But I see one thing on Twitter. I'm breaking it
Because they lose against Tennessee. That's nail in the coffin. They're losing to Texas.
at Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kentucky's not even gonna.
Dang, that's another thing. I mean, you played at Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Texas. That's tough, but that is
No, it's hard.
not good for Mark Stoops, and he's trying to. I mean, he's in like what his 10th year. He's still building a program. It's crazy.
Yeah. He wants to avoid the hot seat. Did the schedule help them? No. Could they have won the games that they were supposed to win? Entirely.
Yeah. I just don't see how they keep getting these. Like, how are they not able to get anybody in there that can like be a good quarterback? Like Will Levis, their best quarterback that I remember, obviously Tim Couch was it probably, but that I can remember like recently was Lynn Bowden Jr. He was a wide receiver.
And that was it like 2018, 2019?
Yes. Yep. That was the game.
I mean,
I think we got it taken away from the Jeremy Pruitt stuff, but yeah. We
Right.
won.
I mean, Tennessee has been there with quarterback issues, so I mean, like, sympathize.
That's
But
true.
you're right. Mark Stoops should figure it out at some point. The rent a quarterback strategy is basically the Colts of college football is not working. And obviously Colts went and drafted AR, and then he can't stay healthy for 2 weeks. And, they went on their Phillip Rivers kick and Joe Flacco. And that's Andrew Luck's fault, honestly. I don't know why. That's 10 years of damage that he did, so I don't blame them. But Kentucky does not have a Andrew Luck excuse. Will Levis was a poor excuse for
I mean, they keep they're doing this thing where they're trying to be a Big Ten team. Are they trying out for the Big Ten? Is that what they're doing? Is trying to break away from the SEC?
It's working if that's their goal. You're certainly distancing yourself from the SEC.
How can let's just run the ball, have crappy quarterback play, and an okay defense. Let's do that and see if that works. It seems like what I would do if I was trying out for the Big Ten.
Right. And maybe this is their plan. I don't know. Maybe we're getting deceived. But as it stands right now, bad football team.
God, that defensive line is going to feast.
That's going to be so fun.
I mean, imagine Gerald Mincy having to block James Pierce Jr. or Joshua Josephs.
Anybody.
Tyree West.
I mean, I don't
name them.
Yeah,
Dominic Bailey.
I mean, I say you can line up anybody on that line, any linebacker you want. Like, I mean, that's going to be so fun, so much fun. I think Jacoby Thomas might try to murder somebody genuinely, which is always his goal.
Yeah.
Is to just hit somebody basically until they're, dead.
I don't know how often Boo Carter and Gerald Mincy will see each other on the field, but I got to think they're going to have some words.
It's going to get chippy. Tennessee has to be able to let them let Kentucky look worse, getting chippy, but I guarantee you it'll get chippy. And I'm all about it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Kentucky, don't try to play hero and try to go at the knees of our quarterback, okay? We're on a playoff run. Understand that you're not, but we are. So can you respect a little bit? Thank you.
It also just feels nice to this is what we'll just say in week 7, because last year tennis, we were basically out of the college football playoffs. But I'm just saying it's been nice to not be sitting at 4 losses halfway through the season and being like, all right, so now what? Like, let's just try to find a bowl. I mean, Kentucky's literally just trying to find a bowl at this point. Missouri should settle and be that way too, but somehow Missouri is ranked number 25, so that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. So I have a buddy that's a Kentucky fan, and we were texting back and forth last week, and he was like, I asked him if he was ready for a night game in Neyland. He said he's going to walk out by mid-first quarter. I said, we can't score in the first half, so you'll make it to at least then. He says, you and I both know Nico will figure it out that night, and it will be a bloodbath. Yeah, he was. I mean, they already know. They already know it's going to happen. So good.
And,
this is a good right game for this passing attack. If Alabama wasn't, this is the one for a full 4 quarters. Let's put on a display.
And I should be walking cautiously because when we were in Fayetteville, I didn't hear one person saying they're going to beat us. It was, don't beat us too bad. They're basically laying down. Just like, we just want to have fun. Like, please don't beat the shit out of us. Like, I don't want to stay till, so but this is in Neyland, right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about a whole different situation. If you let Kentucky walk into Neyland at night, dark out, I mean, that's a bad, we'll get there if that was
Are we going dark mode? Are we doing that?
I would have to assume, because I mean, that's kind of been just you've penciled that in on your calendar since you've known like when Checker Neyland was, and you knew it was probably going to be orange out for Bama. I mean, I would assume you save the black jerseys for night game at Kentucky Halloween weekend.
Mhm.
It worked great 2 years ago. I mean, I don't know why you don't stick with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's definitely going to be a good atmosphere. 7:45 is tough. It's late. We're going to do it. The thing that sucks the most about it is next week you have another night game against Mississippi State.
And it's Mississippi State, and that's like it's so hard to like. It's because you want to just. It's the week before Georgia. You're thinking like I just need to get through this win,
Goodbye. Yeah.
and then it's and it's so hard to not focus on the next week. But you can't, especially the night game. It's so easy to just put it off. Like Saturday at noon, you're going to be like, why am I this actively tailgating? But
Yeah.
that's
Well,
why
it
they're
also
Baltimore.
stinks. I do it every week. I don't know why I just like don't set a reminder on my phone. When I get to the tailgate, I remember to eat lunch because I am hungry. And then we start packing up and walking to the game. I'm like, oh man, I need to eat dinner. Like I'm hungry again.
every time.
And then I have
Every
to
time.
drop like a 50 bomb to get full in Neyland. So I
I
need
just-
to
I
do a
just
better
stick it
job of
out.
that. Somebody hold me accountable this week.
Well, and eating after is like not a thing for me. Like I don't. It's just not. You don't. Where am I
You
going to
wake
squeeze
up
out
the
time?
next morning, like in the middle of the night, and
You're
because
like, I
you're
had
not eating
600 calories
anything
of food
good.
yesterday.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're not eating anything good that late at night. So
Yeah. The
it's
7:45
Taco
throws
Bell,
everything off.
Cookout,
And
McDonald's.
yeah.
That's kind of your three options.
yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. But you know what? We'll do it for Bama. We'll do it for Kentucky. We'll do it for Mississippi State. I don't care. You bring anybody at a night game in Neyland, we'll be ready.
You know what I might do? And this probably isn't much better than Taco Bell, but I might make a pizza that I guess the day before because I'll have to get up early.
Like a frozen pizza,
Yeah, and then just put it in the fridge and then like have it waiting on me when I
cold
get home.
pizza. Oh, wait.
yeah,
Oh, that's
just-
right. Because you
just
just
heat
get to
it
go
up.
home after the game. That's fair.
just
You
heat
could
it
just
up.
bring it. Yeah, because after the game, by the time, never mind. You're eating at the tailgate till what time y'all heading? 6:45 kickoff. Y'all are heading in at what? 6:30.
We usually pack up like we usually start walking there about 30, 45 minutes before.
Okay. Yeah.
So we
So,
start
I mean,
cleaning
you have
up
time to
like
get some food
15,
right
20
before the
minutes
game,
before
but-
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
That's
don't.
fair.
I need
No,
need
right.
to.
That would be logical.
Right. Let's talk about some reasons why we just hate Kentucky because there's a lot of them. I'll let you start. You just read off one, and we'll kind of talk about it for a second. I got a long list. I hope you do too. But
I mean,
We
yeah,
just talked
I'm
about
sure we could go on forever. Yeah, my first one, they're the little brothers, and they refuse to accept any notion of the fact that they have little brother syndrome to us. Specifically regarding football, I'll stay away from basketball right now or any other sports, but it seems like every year they have this mentality that like they're on the same playing field as us, and they just aren't right now, and they refuse to accept that fate. Like they just they're blind to their own wisdom, and I love it because then it just makes great, content the next day. But dude, they refuse to accept that they're little brothers.
I hate that they land these transfers. It kind of sets them up for failure. They land these transfers and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to be good. And then when they're not, because everybody knows they're not going to be good, then they're like, oh, just wait till basketball season. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can do that. We have a winning record against you in the last 10 years in basketball. So we could do that.
And we do it in
it'd be
baseball.
the
we can
same
do it,
result.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm not talking about basketball. Like even if we were the best school under any circumstance, I'm the same thing with football. Like I'm talking about football. You can't
Also,
revert
like,
to the
what do
next
you have
sport
to
and
hang
just be
your
like,
hat
yeah,
on
well, we
for
have you in basketball. You don't,
Because,
not-
like-
not right now.
Right. Well, this year, they're like, "Yeah, just wait for basketball. You don't even know I don't even know one player on your team.
No.
You probably don't even know one player on your team.
I mean,
You get all
it's
these
a dumb.
transfers. Like I mean, they did like a whole Brady Bunch outline of what their new starting lineup looks like. And it's like you just pick random people out of the portal and be like, oh, this guy looks like a guard. Let's get him. Like they have no clue what they're getting in basketball. Zero clue.
No. And they'll still revert to it. And again, it's little brother syndrome. They just don't. They just reality doesn't come to them easily. So it's just I'll revert to this, or I'll pull up this, and I'll say this. And Kentucky is one of the worst teams at it that we really go against in the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Bama and Florida is always just like, you say like, oh, next year or something like that. Or like, like right now, I mean, Bama's making excuses and everything, and they're more just defeated. Same with Florida. Kentucky just is relentless. They're like, no, we're not actually bad. It was just this. And like, you keep running your mouth, wait till basketball, and then we walk into Rupp Arena like we did last year and drop, 104 on them. I mean, just let everybody have Triple J had like him. And I mean, the game was beautiful. And then it's like, oh, what now? Wait for football season? Because we're waiting. We'll see what happens Saturday. Are you just going to keep bouncing back and forth?
Yeah. And I think my thing with I hate Kentucky basketball, just like football, it's not even a rivalry at all.
It's not worth me.
I hate Kentucky because like I just can't stand the fans. But they don't really bother me because we always win.
Yeah.
It's hard to hate somebody that you always beat over and over and over again. There's no rivalry in it.
Yeah. And you feel bad for
basketball is a little bit more of a rivalry, but that leads me to those people. In other words, if you're going to be a Kentucky fan, be a Kentucky fan.
Right.
Do not be a Tennessee football fan and a Kentucky basketball fan. The Volcat thing is the dumbest thing. And there's a guy at work, and I love the guy, but I hate that he's a Volcat. Like that, it makes me not trust him.
No, it's not. You can't trust somebody that does that. That's like no, doesn't work.
No.
It's like I love
like his call. They're like the closet. Okay, you're gonna have half orange, half blue. I don't get. You just wait till basketball season to wear the blue. That's crazy.
Well, and again, it's like that's just almost you can't make that look bad on Tennessee at all. Where it's like, oh yeah, well, it's just Tennessee fans are all ride or die. This isn't like as a Tennessee fan, there's no warranted reason that I should only want to like football and not like basketball because we're whooping ass in basketball again too. We'll talk about today later. Kentucky's not the same way, right? Like they have to jump, and like there's this weird little thing, and I don't care what little sap story you had. Your daddy grew up as a minor, and you grew up a basketball fan over there, and then you went to Tennessee, and so you love Tennessee football. Wrong. You're a Kentucky fan, you become a Tennessee fan, or you stay a Kentucky fan. You don't see me being like, oh man, I love Vanderbilt baseball, like back when Tennessee sucked. Yeah, I'm a Vanderbilt baseball fan, but I love Tennessee basketball and football. You don't do that.
Yeah, bull crap. Yeah. Yeah, the whole my grandpa, he was a big Kentucky fan, and his dad played for Rupp. Well, okay, well he was a racist too. Congratulations. I mean, let's go celebrate.
Why are you clinging on to that?
Like, yeah, it's like the most celebrated person is, oh, it's Rupp. It's Rupp, baby. It's Rupp. I mean, let's keep celebrating the most racist man on the planet. Let's keep doing that.
Hey, let them keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, let's
cancel the entire university.
The whole it's just wait till basketball. Until what? Like they want to say, oh, Rick Barnes hasn't won anything. Rick Barnes hasn't lost a first-round game to a St. Peter's.
Yeah, dude. That's why it was so funny because it's just too recently. They lost to they went back-to-back years losing to like high-seeded teams, right? There's St. Peter's, and it was St. Peter's was Doug, and then they lost to let's see, Oakland. No.
Oh, is that right?
Oakland. Yeah, Oakland beat Tennessee or Kentucky, not Tennessee, Kentucky. Last year, and then St. Peter's was either 22 or 20. I thought it was 23. It was back-to-back years, wasn't it? I mean, you can't even mention basketball if you're going to go and do that in the tournament. You can't mention Rick Barnes. You can't mention Tennessee basketball because I don't care about Rick Barnes' record in March. He's not done that twice back-to-back years. He hasn't even done it once.
Yeah,
you can call Loyola Chicago whatever you want. That team's great, and somehow Sister Jean's still alive, I think. Yeah. I mean,
so they were a 3 seed. Who did they? Why does it not show me? I want to know like who they lost to.
So yeah, St. Peter's was 22, and then this past year they lost to Oakland.
Oakland. Okay. Who's that guy that they lost to? The white guy. What was his name?
Doug.
No, Doug was St. Peter's. He was the guy from Oakland.
Oh, was the guy that made like 23s?
Yeah.
Jack Golke, because he got that Barstool
Yeah,
brand deal
Golke.
right after.
Yeah,
that guy
yeah.
was filthy. I will give them that. That guy could not miss. Tennessee would have probably lost that game too, but that doesn't mean the
No,
fact
we would have
didn't.
locked him down.
Yeah, easy.
No one will, if congrats. Actually, Jack Golke can send needs to send a thank you letter to Kentucky, because if they would have played Tennessee, no one would know who he was.
Not
So shout out Kentucky for playing shitty defense.
Clamp.
Yep.
What's new? But yeah, I mean, back to the point, like you can't revert to basketball when you're not doing great in basketball either. And Kentucky's program's not in a situation to talk right now.
Yeah. Another thing I hate about Kentucky is, dude, y'all stole the checkerboards.
Yeah,
Avery. And I think they wore a pink hat
great
in baseball when they hit a home run.
Yeah. They
and they start doing the stroke. Yeah. I mean, they just the most unoriginal school of all time. Kentucky.
Yeah, they watch to see what we do. They tweak it a little bit. You know, like if we changed our show logo, I'm sure, I don't know who, but I'm sure someone would probably come in and steal our logo like that. I mean, it's just Kentucky's, it's very, it's very Kentucky-esque. But I mean, it happens in all brands. So Kentucky's just the imposter for college football. They want to just watch what we do and see it works, and then they do it and it doesn't work, and then they're like, what are we gonna do next?
Yeah, let's do something else that they do. Yeah, I agree. That was good, Joey. Good pull. What else do you hate about Kentucky?
KSR. And I actually don't even hate them, because they provide so much fun content for Tennessee fans to just tee up and have a field day with.
I agree.
But at the end of the day, like, I still hate them.
Yeah.
It makes beautiful content. It does, and it's great clip farming, like being able to revert back to their clips when they say something, and then obviously just like their meltdowns the day after a Tennessee ass whooping of Kentucky, and it's like they didn't expect it, and they just, I mean, that video last year of like, can we just beat the damn Vols? Just no, you can't. It's awesome, but yeah, I still hate it.
And then he's the guy that made the volleyball comment.
Yeah, no, that guy sucks. That Nick, whatever guy.
Yeah.
I don't take back my comments about his paint chip eating holidays.
Yeah, that was a tough scene. I mean, delusional. You make that comment, that video, and it goes viral, and then you come back with a volleyball player comment when you just there's no telling how much they paid for Brock Vandergrift to come in and suck.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to the fact that, was it Nick Roush? Irrelevant. Yep. Nobody knows who he is. So he has to, piss off Tennessee fans and say something stupid just to be relevant. And like, that's when you kind of know you've reached a lull in your sports, like whatever your team's doing, when you're just going at, you're solely getting content off of just making outrageous comments that is going to piss off opposing fan bases. We all do it. You chunk it in though. If we only had a show that, like, if Tennessee was 3-7 and we had no baseball and basketball, like, we wouldn't have a show that we just talked shit on people for an hour and a half.
Yeah, and like that's the only way they get any kind of viewership is they get Tennessee fans in there to like.
Right.
Yeah. So you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah, and we're happy. I will continue doing it for eternity. It does not make me mad. Please keep providing us good content, and we'll keep beating your ass, and it'll be a never-ending cycle, and I am elated.
Yeah. I hate Kentucky because their football stadium is just in a field.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's always cold as balls. They didn't sell alcohol the last time I was there. I think they do now, maybe. But, of course, they're like the last team to do it. So, I mean, just everything they do is just backwards and wrong and dumb. Just everything about them is dumb.
Yeah, I've been to Lexington. I've been past Kroger Field. I've had zero will or desire to go into a football game there. I will give Rupp the credit it is due. I don't support Mr. Rupp. I saying the arena. Pretty sweet, kind of cool, pretty sick, decent atmosphere. It's also like a convention hall, which I didn't realize, like the other half.
Save money,
but Kroger,
2 for 1.
Kroger Field's just shit.
Yeah, and y'all like gave up all the rights. I don't know what it was before, but it's Kroger Field. Like there's no Thompson
stadium.
Bowling Arena at Food City Center. It's Kroger Field, and period. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm starting to put Food City above Kroger on my list, so I think we're trending
There you go.
the right
yeah.
Food City. You gotta find the right ones, but yeah, they're I don't know what they're going to resort to when people start come knocking for more brand deals because they've got nothing, and then they don't have any money coming from any of their programs. So maybe this might be a Big Ten push.
I think it is.
It might be a textbook conference realignment push, which maybe we'll be reading about if you want.
We sniffed it out before it happened.
Yeah, credit us if that comes out in the next 5 to 10 years. We sniffed out their playbook real early. Yeah,
we want a little chunk of that Big Ten money that's coming their way.
I agree.
Which has got to be less than SEC money. So at the end of the day, they're probably losing money, but they might win more games.
Yeah.
If they do join the Big Ten, I don't think they really have to worry about getting blown out by Florida.
Yeah.
Or South Carolina.
It's not a bad. I mean, depends how you angle it. I don't know what all those Wildcats are going to do, but because that's a draw on a line. You can't jump SEC Big Ten. That's too far. I mean, it's already too far, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be super fun that they get to go out to California like twice a year and see UCLA and USC or Stanford or whoever else that they're playing.
I would love to watch Kentucky lose a basketball game at like 11 o'clock at night out in South California. That would make me so happy. So much fun. Their state just kind of blows.
Okay, yeah.
Lexington's, I will give Lexington some credit. Like the campus is the bar scene's I mean, I'm not going to sit here and really applaud Tennessee's bar scene because
they got a tin roof.
There's 12 cranes. They do have tin roof, and there's 12 cranes in the Tennessee skyline. So I mean, everything's getting torn down. Come back in 10 years and we'll see. But Erlanger is a cool city.
I mean,
it's literally in Cincinnati, so that does not. I mean, it's right across the border, and your airport is the Cincinnati airport. Come on, own your own airport. But yeah, state kind of blows. And you're right; it's always cold. For being this close, way too cold.
Yeah. Dude, tin roof rocks though. Like
tin roof does rock. Every campus has a tin roof rocks. Now that tin roof's a lot smaller. It's no Fayetteville tin roof. Shout out Fayetteville tin roof. I will give
that place is awesome.
That place rocked. I will give Fayetteville credit for that for sure.
And that's it.
Not stadium, no atmosphere, awful atmosphere, but I will give them credit for
tin roof.
Tin roof. Shout out the franchisee that opened that one. That's it. That's all they get. Kentucky, make your tin roof 2 stories and we'll talk.
Okay. It's a small one, you said?
Yeah, it's pretty tiny. I mean, it's like the size of Sunspot, but 1 floor. So no, not even a roof.
I'm pretty sure that's probably why the one closed on the Strip is because it was just too small.
Tiny. Yeah. Maybe we got a big one coming in soon. I don't know.
Maybe they'll put on like a rooftop of a apartment complex. Who knows?
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Anything else of why you hate Kentucky?
It feels like a low blow, and it's probably just not necessary. But John Calipari, I mean, come on. I know we're talking football. I know he's not even the coach there, but you don't just get to wash that away just because he's gone and it's not basketball season. Since y'all want to bring back up basketball, I will happily bring back up Coach Cal and how much of a fraud he is. Good coach, successful in a sense, good recruiter, piece of shit. And he doesn't know what a sideline is because he stays on the court the entire time and throws tantrums.
Sure. Yeah.
Rick Barnes doesn't throw tantrums. You watch him, watch how he does it, and learn. And he sold out. So
Yeah, now he's at Arkansas. Now he's at Fayetteville Tin Roof.
yeah, upgrade 10 roofs.
Yeah,
John 1, Kentucky 0.
that's true. Yeah. And they hired the BYU
That's all I
coach,
got.
which I understand he went to Tennessee or went to Kentucky, but it just sounds like kind of a lame hire, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
It feels like
expect
what they're doing with the quarterback right now. It's just kind of like
I
find the
expect
next
him.
guy that's willing to take it over and
Yep.
just settle. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they got something up their sleeve. But
Yeah. All right, guys. We all hate Kentucky. Everybody hates Kentucky. Glad we
yeah, I'm
settled
sure we
that.
could go on for hours about that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about some exhibitions real quick. So you were at the basketball game today. Let's go ahead and get into that. What did you see from the Vols today?
I don't know. It's one of those things where like you try not to draw really any sustainable opinions from what you see in a charity exhibition game. It looks like one of those seasons where we just the over-unders are at like 106, like maybe either team gets over 50 points. So defense looked good in that manner. It's an exhibition game, so the refs really were letting some stuff fly. I wish every game was like that. I mean, there's a lot of contact going up at the rims and at the boards, and there was not a lot of calls. And if I'm correct, it was Pat Adams down there today, so that's surprising. Now the bad calls were Pat Adams calls, but it was kind of like let him play ball, which obviously doesn't matter. I don't think any of those refs care at all. I think it's more just to get sharp and get in check. They didn't look all full. I think it's just one of those things where you got some new guys and kind of have to settle in. I mean, Zakai, I heard people saying Zakai still looks like Zakai. I mean, Meshack's obviously taking a huge step up this year. You're seeing JP get a lot more minutes. And then obviously with Felix and Igor and Chaz, you've got some new guys that you're mixing in there. And I wouldn't overreact. They didn't look great.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of Hoosiers in there, a lot.
Really?
Like there were some pops. Like right at the end of the game, there was like a loud pop. So, I mean, obviously you're just going to have to kind of figure it out and get those new guys worked in and get used to seeing a lot more Jordan Gainey and, I mean, stuff like that. It's just, they looked pretty solid on defense, a lot of blocks, a lot of size down there in the paint. I'm not particularly pressing any button, not saying this team's gonna be really good, not stressing one bit in terms of what I saw today. I think we'll be okay. Real season starts November 2nd in like a week or something like that.
Yeah, and Tennessee should have depth at a lot of positions. And I think what you saw today, they upgraded in the post. I think Felix Akpara is going to be a dude, especially defensively. Because that was the thing you needed last year was somebody defend Zach Edey, please.
Right.
Like if
Which
Tennessee
I
had Felix
100%.
Akpara,
Felix could do some dirty. The biggest thing today was it was sloppy. I'm trying to get past the face value and stuff. You're like a charity exhibition game, first of the season, especially with a lot of new guys. It's going to be sloppy basketball, and that's kind of what it was. I think underlyingly, there's a lot more skill and talent there. That's going to, obviously take a couple of games in the season to really get everything oiled machine working well and everything. So I think it's just a little bit of slop that you just kind of have to get through. But
and
Felix
I think
is
this is like right, and I think the biggest thing that I've kind of gotten from this is like Tennessee doesn't have Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
Like you want to see everybody just firing on all cylinders, scoring the basketball like that. It's tough when you lose a guy like Dalton Connect. I mean, it was tough that year after Grant and Admiral left.
Yeah.
You didn't have that go-to guy like you thought you might get in some guys. And maybe it is there, but it kind of seemed like a team that was missing a go-to. Now, if Chaz Lanier knocks down some of those shots, hey, we got something there. But you can't have two of your best scorers go 5 for 26 from the floor.
Yeah.
And expect to win a lot of basketball games.
Yeah. It looked like there was the absence of like that guy. And it's a very obviously like general, like no shit statement when you're like every team's better with that guy. But like today, it's just, I mean, the ball movement looked great, but it was so much ball movement because you're trying to just find like someone who's going to step up and take the shot that needs, especially at the end of the game. You're under 60 seconds and you're down 6, and you basically either have to like drive in quick and make a 3. You shouldn't be making that decision at the top of the key for 15 seconds, kind of trying to like, all right, who's the guy I'm going to? Like last year in that moment, you're finding Dalton connect that ball. Like I don't care if you have to maul somebody to get him that ball or just make it happen, but that that in that clutch moment, that's what you need. So that hasn't really emerged yet. I know Meshack would probably like to stand up and kind of like ideally be the guy this season that they can rely on. But again, without seeing like what Chaz and Felix and them are fully, I mean, obviously just now seeing them, that might pan out totally different. But again, I think that just kind of comes with time.
Yeah.
We didn't know I mean, I know Dalton Connect looked good against Michigan State in that exhibition game last year, but we weren't sitting there going, here's our guy. Like, this is going to be the guy this season. Like, it still took a couple games to be like, oh, okay, I see you, white boy. Like that. Yeah. That's like, I mean, and now he's Antonio Brown's favorite player. So
that's true.
I'm not pressing any panic buttons. Looked a little sloppy. Definitely, I don't know what we ended up. I think we shot maybe like 20% from the 3, something like 30% from the field. I mean, it was definitely, I think it was double rimmed. I think that's all it was, but
yeah, it's just ugly. And like we've seen this from Rick Barnes' teams, like for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about offense, but it seems like if they don't have a guy like Dalton Connect or Grant Williams, it's tough to score. And I don't know if it's just like we need to get guys that can go to the rim. Like Kenny Chandler did a good job of like, hey, just get to the rim. I don't see them having a ton of success when every shot that Zakai Ziegler takes is a 3-pointer.
Yeah. Well, because he gets to the rim, but I mean, the size mismatch, he has to just like he is so good at cutting to the rim and getting under that dude's arm, but his next move is always to just sling it out to the wing because like the corner or something like out there, because I mean, realistically, it's so hard for him to try to find space to get that shot up when you've got a 6'11", 7-foot dude down there. Just, I mean, you beat him, but you're not going to be able to play one-on-one down low with that guy. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. You need that someone that's going to be able to get down there in the paint and kind of have. There was just a lot of weird floaters today. The threes obviously were not hitting at all, but yeah, a lot of those weird mid ranges that you're just like, dude, is that your best shot option right there? Like, I don't think it was.
Yeah, apparently Igor didn't look great from what I heard.
No, very quiet.
Game, yeah,
pretty quiet.
But I mean, there is something to work with that post. I mean, the good thing is every Tennessee team is going to be good defensively, so you're going to be in ball games. But I mean, they just need to get some consistent scoring. Whether that's, I don't know who that is. Like, is it Chaz Lanier? Cool. Who else is it? Because it's not Dalton Connect isn't going to go. Chaz Lanier or whoever isn't going to go for 50 in a game. Like that just isn't going to happen. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think it's a team that
no, you're not.
That lost the best player in college basketball last year, and trying to replace him with a couple different pieces. I mean, what besides Jordan Gainey, which I know he started because Chaz Lanier's, was dealing with an injury of some sort. So, I mean, realistically, 3 of the 5 starters are new guys.
Yeah.
First guys in the program. So that is difficult to kind of go through. You're not practicing against yourself. So it's just different. And hopefully they're able. The bad thing is Tennessee has such a tough schedule in non-conference play where you don't really get a you get some kind of easy games in there, but there's some tough ones. I think Louisville's right after we play whoever our first game is. I can't remember who it is. Gardner Webb. Yeah. Then you go at Louisville. You're going to the Bahamas. You play Virginia, Baylor, St. John's. Like it's going to be tough. And Indiana, I think, is a good team. Are they probably an elite team? I would say no, but maybe. We'll see. Tennessee just got to find a little bit more scoring, especially in the first half. Like let's get out to a good start. And I think they ended the last 4 minutes, didn't have a single basket. Like that can't happen.
Yeah, it was not having the offensive run when you needed it, and also Renew and Rice for them combined for like 41 or 42 out of their how many points was like 63 points, something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, like those guys, they just let those guys just absolutely dog on them. And they looked like, I mean, Indiana, in fairness, looks like a decent team. I mean, this isn't like you lost an exhibition game to like, Chattanooga, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, this would be a whole different conversation. So, I mean, definitely no need to panic button. You're going to see a lot more. The first couple of games of the season's when you'll actually kind of see how they want to get aggressive and how they want to build that starting lineup and kind of hopefully just build some chemistry and stuff. But
yeah,
I like Felix a lot. I think that's going to be a huge addition.
I think they lack some. I think Meshack has some size, but I like at Zakai, and I think Lanier isn't that big either. Gainey's small, so I mean those three guys right there. That's you're giving up a lot of height in the backcourt there. So I wonder if a guy like Cam Carr can come in, and I'd like to see him play more. I know he was 0 for today, didn't really do a whole lot, but that's a guy I was super excited for coming into this season. So I'd like to see a little bit more from him at some point.
Yeah, the offense definitely. The defense felt better. The energy from the defense did feel better. It felt like they were, especially for an exhibition game, like this team will be aggressive on defense and it will be hard at home in the last 2 minutes to swing any momentum for a team that's down 5 or anything like that. Like the press was fairly aggressive. They were able to get some really good turnovers again. The blocks, like we might lead. No, never mind. I'm not going to get too crazy. It's an exhibition game. I'm not going to say anything about leading SEC in blocks or anything, but it's just, there's pieces you got to put together.
I think one thing that could help Tennessee in scoring is like get out in transition. When you have a guy that can block shots, let's get the long rebound and let's get out and run.
Yeah.
I think with Zakai and Jemai and Lanier, like those guys should be able to get to the rim and transition and finish at the other end. Like we should be able to outrun some teams, especially when we're able to go small with Igor, being kind of a stretch 4 there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Tennessee played. God, who did they play the other night? They played Troy today in baseball. Western Kentucky, that's right. Won that one, started that game in the first inning. You had Dean Curley and Andrew Fisher go yard, and then just kind of cruise from there. I think they played like 14 innings or something like that. Won it like 16-6 or something like that. And then I think you beat Troy today 11-6. I think at the end of 9 innings, it was 6-3. So not a lot scoring wise, but Tennessee took care of business. Again, I wasn't there. I wasn't able to watch a whole lot. But they got a freshman named Jay Abernathy, who I've heard nothing but great things. Kid's phenomenal, super good athlete, and I've heard, this is a quote, one of the best practice players we've had since Max Ferguson. I know it's practice, but then he went out and showed out against Western Kentucky. I mean, this kid he was a top 100 player, obviously, and was a draft risk, but ends up coming to Tennessee, and it's kind of paying off to him. Gets to kind of play right away and is obviously the fastest kid on the team, and then, looks like he's going to be your leadoff. That's That's not normal for a freshman to come in and lead off for your program, especially a team coming off a national championship. That is not
Yeah.
normal.
And to be touted as like one of the best practice players we've had. That's not. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not
you've got
taken
some
lightly.
pretty-
And again, it depends who
Yeah,
says
pretty
it. but,
good,
like,
pretty good players here the last couple of years.
yeah, and you expect, there's no inkling that Tony V is going to take any step down in talent after winning a national championship. I mean, who doesn't want to come play for Tennessee right now? Obviously, it's just a matter of competing with the draft, but so is everybody else. So I mean, it's good to see them go out there. And I didn't really get to tune in to any of it this weekend. Obviously, I was super busy, but I mean, you went out, you had fun, you got to do your little Tennessee. Went out to Nashville and went out to Jackson, and just do your little Tennessee tour, get people riled up, and baseball season's gonna be here before you know it. I mean, being in Thompson Bowling with a basketball game today was weird. It was weird. We are like, we have the Kentucky game. Like, we're not even like Georgia's. We usually when I'm mid-November. Okay, basketball's coming up. We've got SEC play is going to be here in a month or 2 months or something like that. Like, but
yeah,
it's gonna sneak up on you.
Yeah, and like the baseball, they just continue to like have dudes come in like Gavin Keelan is a guy that could be a first round pick, probably top 10 at some point. Andrew Fisher is going to be a draft pick. I love that he's coming in. I think the best hitting transfer wears number 11 every year. I think we just start doing that. Liam Doyle is probably going to be your Friday night guy, transfer from Ole Miss, who shoved against Tennessee last year. I think he had a good outing against Western Kentucky. Didn't throw a whole lot, but I think his velo has gone up since he's got on campus. So is into that. Was kind of lower to mid 90s, but has a really good off speed stuff, and now he's throwing like mid to high 90s. So that's something that I'm excited to see, and kind of who takes on the other roles. I think Nate Snead started today, so it looks like Liam Doyle, Nate Snead. Who's that third guy? I think they have some, Tegan Coons, Dylan Loy. I mean, there's a couple guys that could come in here and start. Thomas Crabtree. I almost said Michael Crabtree. Thomas Crabtree is a JUCO. Brandon Arvidsson. No. So they just continue to bring in dudes from junior college, high school. I mean, it's a different talent level coming to Tennessee right now. I mean, the guys they have committed, Kai Bratton, 2026, right-handed pitcher. Outfielder, right-handed pitcher Michael Teasley from Oak Ridge, who is one of the best players in the nation, and obviously here locally, you got Billy Carlson in 2025, flipped his commitment from Vanderbilt to Tennessee. Hate to see it, but Billy Carlson's like a top 10 prospect in next year's draft. I mean, he might not make it to campus, but if he does, you're looking at a guy that's like Mookie Betts level coming out of high school.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what that looks like. I mean, they've got some guys that they've kind of talked out of signing. And I know that's a lot for guys to turn down, but you're going to spend like 2 years in nowhere, Iowa, or come 2 years to Tennessee. Nowhere, Iowa, and like the minors. That's what I'm talking about. But
no, I know what you're saying. I mean, Tennessee's. I mean, in terms of like the stage to put you up on, like where Tennessee baseball's at right now, I don't think you're taking any step back from what you would be doing, in the farm system. I don't think you're. I mean, obviously, you want to sign a professional contract as soon as possible. You're a high schooler and you're like, I get to sign up a professional. I mean, but like Tennessee's not as what college deciding to go the college route is. Tennessee's like damn near as close as you can to just setting yourself really up to go professional. So it's just one of those things where we just keep refilling and hopefully just keep the hammer down. I mean, the talent's there. There's no, I mean, and again, it's going to take some time to get new guys comfortable, and that happens every season. But these natural freshmen would just skill out the ass. I don't think that's stopping anytime soon in Tennessee. So super excited for that.
Nope. Yep. I'm just going to keep coming, keep reloading. That's what you got to do. Yeah, it's crazy we're getting to this point where you kind of have an overlap with basketball, football, and as soon as football ends, then it's right into baseball. So,
yeah,
busy time for us, but we're excited for it. We're going to have some more kind of content. We want to dive into some more stuff and not just do 2 shows and that's it. We want to do more stuff. So, stay tuned for all that. Also, guys, go check out our good friends at Autograph. Autograph is a fandom company co-founded by NFL legend Tom Brady. Their new app, Autograph, gives diehard fans like you a one-stop shop for all the best fan content for your favorite team. Obviously, that's the Vols. And rewards you for doing so what you're already doing as a fan. For example, you can listen to more important issues anywhere, but when you listen on the Autograph app, you can earn coins that can be redeemed for amazing rewards, including free discounted and no-fee tickets, A-plus memorabilia and merch, and one-of-a-kind experiences. Download the Autograph app in the App Store or Google Play Store today for free and use referral code ISSUES. That's referral code ISSUES, and let them know we sent you. The Autograph app, where your fandom lives. Guys, go check them out. Again, use that promo code ISSUES.
Autograph rocks.
I love Autograph.
I'll plug it myself. If you're actually like I mean, this is like just genuinely speaking. Like I'll go on there. It's like Twitter's great, but you get mixed up with so much stuff. Like it's just Tennessee. Like I don't have to worry about people saying stupid stuff. I'm just like, oh, I can listen to a podcast. I can listen to our podcast. I can look at this article. I can look at these pictures from practice on Monday. Like it's nice to have there in your back pocket.
Yeah, it's the timeline without all the other stuff. I like that.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, let's talk some playoffs. I mean, I literally did this again last night, just looking at every kind of aspect. I think Tennessee, let's say they do lose to Georgia. We're not going to, but let's say for this they do.
Right, hypothetically.
They need some help getting in. They need some people to lose.
Right.
Because I think that resume will be up there. But the fact that you haven't beaten anybody else that will probably be in that conversation, because like you already have the one up against Alabama. Like you beat them head to head, they are not going to get in over you.
Right.
You need a Big Ten team. Like Indiana, Penn State, one of those teams needs to, or Ohio State, it could be, one of those we needed them to continue to lose.
Yeah,
Indiana's got
Ohio State, Penn State plays next week and can probably, but you need one of those two to. And they're both fraud. They're both fraud programs. I'll always say the Big Ten's fraudulent. Penn State's definitely fraudulent. Ohio State's pretty sure fraudulent. They just need to actually play a hard team. And Michigan's not going to help make that any harder this year. So you do need some help. Yeah.
Notre Dame, you really want them to lose a game to get out.
Yeah.
I know that Northern Illinois is a rough. I mean, that should be elimination anyway, but I feel like they're going to get in because they did beat Texas A&M. They're going to be Army, Navy. Like those two teams were ranked. So they're going to get credit for that. But I think
so much time. Go ahead.
I think you need them to lose at some point. Slip up again. I think you need one of the ACC teams to get out. Pitt is a team that's weird to me. I know they play Clemson, so that could have them getting out of the conversation, but also like if they're 11-1 at the end of the season and Tennessee's sitting there at 10-2,
yeah.
I mean, what do you do at that point? You could
go beat Georgia.
Yeah, LSU probably needs to lose again to Alabama this week would be nice. Texas A&M, you could have them lose. They played Texas at the end of the year.
Yeah, they played Texas. So I mean,
but
ideally,
still,
comes to a landscape.
Loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come to a landscape, I guess, where it's like, obviously the SEC is weird right now. Texas A&M is your only conference team that's still undefeated in the conference. They still have to play Texas. LSU has to go. No, Bama goes to LSU, right? I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So Bama loses that game. Doesn't make your win over Bama look any better. Helps LSU. Hurts you. There's a lot. It's going to have to, just the way the SEC played out this year, because at the beginning of the season, we're like, I think realistically 5 SEC teams can get into this playoff. And now you're sitting there going, okay, well, which ones and how? And how's Tennessee getting in that conversation? Because at first you're going, a 10-2 Tennessee team gets into the playoffs, most likely, was kind of the narrative at the beginning of the season, just assuming it was going to play out the way it did, because you were looking at Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Bama, Missouri is probably like your 5, because I think Missouri started the season at what, 7? Something like that?
Yeah,
up there?
They're up there. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think it's just now it's kind of stuff just kind of has to play out your way. Because I think you're right. That's definitely what hurts us is that none of the teams that are in are teams that we kind of have anything to hold against, or even definitely not directly because we didn't play them. But even through 2 points of contact isn't the best show. So
yeah,
I don't know.
it's gonna be tough because like Tennessee is in that weird spot where like if Texas A&M's 10-2, their 2 losses are to Notre Dame and Texas. Those are 2 better losses than Tennessee's Arkansas.
I know.
So that's tough. LSU's, theirs would be to A&M, and who is their other one?
Do we get any leg of saying like the committee just doesn't want to deal with Vols fans just erupting if they don't let us in, that they like maybe give us the edge? Like, is it which team fan base will have the most miserable reaction?
Oh, LSU lost to USC. So USC and Texas A&M. I guess ours would be at Georgia. I say we get in over that.
I would agree. I mean, right now we are minus 170 to get into the college football playoffs. So I don't know what percentage that comes out to. I think the last time I looked, what is that? I mean, we're like 65% chance to make it to the college football playoffs. So, I mean, obviously they're not just accounting for Georgia. So there's still a lot of room to consider the fact that if you still lose to Georgia in a tight game, show that you can, especially if the offense starts, I mean, God forbid, this offense starts clicking versus Kentucky, you have a really good showing against, which is now a really bad Kentucky team and then a really bad Mississippi State team. Doesn't really help your case, but you go look pretty solid against Georgia and you just can't escape Athens with a win, but it's a damn close game. You look like you're firing on all cylinders. Obviously, you finish out the season with UTEP and Vandy. It's tough, but there's still maybe I don't know what our percentage would be if we lose to Georgia. Obviously, we have to see what everybody else does, but I don't like the scenario in which we sit and wait on the rest of college football playing out, and I definitely don't like sitting and waiting on the committee to choose our fate. And all you needed to do is not lose in Fayetteville, but, you know.
Well, I've seen a lot where, like, the Big Ten gets 4 teams and the SEC gets 3 teams. So that's going to be – I think if the SEC gets 4 teams, I have a good feeling that Tennessee's one of those at 10-2.
Yeah, because it's like Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, and Tennessee, or Texas, Georgia, LSU, and Tennessee, maybe. Obviously, if it plays out where Tennessee's now that 5 spot in the SEC, that would be really difficult. That would require Texas A&M beating Texas, and then that kind of messes up Texas at the top because now they're a 2-loss team. There's not really a beautiful way for it to play out.
I mean, that's a good point. If Texas loses to A&M at the end, their losses will be to
Georgia, and that's
and
then Texas A&M.
Ours will be to Georgia. So I guess they still get in over.
Yeah, because
but who have they beaten? That's another thing. Like, what is weighed more? Is it wins or is it losses? It's got to be wins, right?
It is. It's always wins. It's because any team can slip up in college football and have a bad loss. That's not what matters in college football. It's all about which team can actually have the ability to go win a game that they either were really tight on or like weren't supposed to win. Any team can go out and have a bad performance and just get shit on. It's not the same to say like any team can just go out and get
They
lucky.
have 0 good wins. They have Michigan, who's terrible.
Right.
Oklahoma, who's terrible. Mississippi State, terrible. Vanderbilt, I mean, was okay, but they won by 3. Then they'll have Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and A&M. Or they'll lose to A&M in this scenario. So they have no
which
good
those 3 wins aren't really impressive.
No.
But then
Tennessee's
they start to like
win over
factor.
Alabama is better than any win that they have on that schedule.
Agreed.
Like
Well,
Texas'
people would
best
argue-
win right
people
now
would
is
argue-
Vanderbilt.
Right. And you won by 3 points.
Yep.
So, I mean,
The only
Does it flip
decent
like
team
that?
you played, you got beat by 15.
yeah, because then you'd have, ideally, if LSU loses to Alabama, we would want Texas to be Texas A&M because then you've got, or Texas A&M to be Texas, because then Texas A&M is undefeated in the SEC and kind of just, well, let's assume that they win out. Does Texas A&M have anybody besides Texas that's like really scary?
Texas
I don't think
A&M.
Yeah, I think they just
They
have
play
Texas
South Carolina this week, I think.
at South Carolina. I mean, that could be a hard one. I mean,
And then they play Auburn, maybe.
ideally, you want that situation where if somehow A&M's won, Georgia 2, Texas, and then Tennessee, because LSU loses to Bama, and Bama's already basically. I refuse to find a way in which Bama can claw back into conversation. I'm sure they'll find a way, but I don't want to do this every year. But yeah, you can play this game for hours. I mean, there's a billion ways that it can go down, and obviously you'd like to be undefeated right now and just not thinking of that as an issue. But it's not an issue if you just go and beat Georgia, which is not the easiest thing to do. Obviously, they look pretty solid. Carson Beck's kind of overrated and not great, but they've got some holes. I think you can take advantage of those.
Yeah. Agreed.
Put the college football playoff is in Tennessee's hands right now.
Yeah,
You go win
take
out.
care of business. Yeah.
You go win out, you're in anyway. 11-1
Mhm.
Tennessee's in with flying colors. So there's no. I mean, obviously we can be realistic, but that's no fun. So let's just be unrealistic and just pencil in a win.
Also, make Notre Dame play somebody.
Yeah, this whole independent like this, and we spent so much time hyping up Army and Navy that then they go and spank them, and then they're going to look like the God Squad.
Yeah, go join a conference.
And stop playing on NBC. I do not like watching college football on NBC.
Yeah, that's true. It's like the announcers. I'm like, who are these people? Like, I have no clue who they are.
Yeah, I've got the Sunday Night Football crew calling college football. It's weird. I don't like it.
I
don't know. And then obviously there's the Heisman situation where it's like that's hard. Not that we've got. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue for Dylan Sampson. I know he probably deserves some recognition from national media, but I'm not going to sit here and act like there's a chance that he kind of pencils up. I mean, obviously, if he just turns into an absolute animal the rest of the season, it's kind of that's where it kind of depends on how far Tennessee goes. But or how good they look at the end of the season, I guess.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. So did you watch the A&M game last night?
Yeah, I watched most of it. I missed the middle chunk.
What a turn!
Yeah, I mean LSU looked
Because Deuce
solid.
Deuce, part of the pod, he was like, "Dude, take Texas A&M, trust me." And then in the first half, I was like, "Dude, what the hell's this?" Because if somebody tells me to take a bet, I'm riding. I'm not letting you win all that money by yourself. I'm gonna cash in on that too.
No, 100%.
But I was like, dang it, dude. You just lost me money. And then Marcel Reed gets in the game and they didn't even have to throw. I think they threw the ball twice when he was in. It was crazy. And I understand
Yeah,
he can
that
run
was
a little bit, but still, that is, I don't know. Like, he wasn't that great when he was in before, but I mean, he put on a performance last night.
and
That
then
was
I
fun to
thought
watch.
LSU was just going to keep having a chance to like climb back, and then every time they did, they just heel to throat each time.
Well, they kept having like big plays in the passing game, and then they just kind of stalled out. Like, they'd have
Yeah.
a big play here and there, and then they would just like, let's punt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a weird one. Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how the rest of the playoffs play out. It's going to be a wild last couple weeks in college football. I'll say that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we wanted chaos with this 12-team playoff. We're gonna get it, but it's gonna cause some serious health issues here in Knoxville.
Yeah. Also think if Tennessee can get that offense rolling a little bit more, hopefully you do it against Kentucky this week. I mean, obviously last year they're seeing what teams can obviously like contend for a national championship.
Right.
If Tennessee can get better offensively, they are contending for a national championship. They might even be one of the favorites
100%.
with that
100%.
defense. So
if you can see a good turnaround of the offense, especially against Kentucky, Mississippi State won't show me a lot because we also saw at the beginning of the season that I was like, this offense is going to be putting up just dookie numbers.
yeah.
You feel way more confident going into Georgia because, like, right now your defense, like that front seven against Georgia, dude. I mean, Carson Beck already, like, I just think I don't know, dude. I that defensive front's going to cause a lot of issues. So if you can just match it on the offensive side of the ball,
yeah, it could be an ugly football game,
and that's fine. I'll win the ugliest of football games.
Tennessee's done it before.
Oh yeah, we've lost the ugly ones too.
Yeah,
and that's why. Even if we beat Georgia, I need to see all zeros on that clock left in Vandy before I can even breathe.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Hey, do you want to go to the game in Nashville?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
No, I went to South Carolina. That was enough.
Yeah, they're like, why? And I was like, I mean, I'm not being the blame for us not making the playoff because we lost to Vandy at Vandy. It's not going to be me.
You think South Carolina was bad? Vandy was just going to.
Yeah, no shot.
Because I mean, that's at least 10 years of just. I mean, they can hold that to us for at least 10 years, and we cannot say a word.
Yeah.
So let's just avoid that situation.
But they probably would have done the same thing they did with Florida State. They probably wouldn't have put us in anyway if Hendon Hooker got hurt. Which
probably not.
Fair. I'm going to look at it that way. I'm going to spin it a little bit. South Carolina didn't put us out. They weren't going to put us in anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep telling myself that. All right, let's get into a little college football before we get out of here. Thursday, you got Syracuse Pitt 7-0, rolling.
Dude, they look good.
Kyle McCord, 5 interception. That's crazy. I think, was it 2 or 3 or pick sixes? He threw the ball 64 times.
3 were pick sixes.
If Kyle McCord throws 64 times in any game, that's a problem. He's done well at Syracuse, but still, him throwing 64 times is a liability.
Dude, Pitt's just like a gritty team that's figuring it out, and it's the most like Pittsburgh thing ever. Because like, I don't associate Pitt with Pittsburgh, and then I think about it, and I'm like, this makes plenty of sense. Like, they just win football games, and they're like totally off the radar until they're not, and then you're like, okay, you got to worry about this team. But they also got to travel to SMU next week, so you know,
they also
big wins have been.
They've done it right with the quarterback transfer portal.
Yeah, Kentucky take notes.
They go get somebody like they got Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
they went and got Keaton Slovis. Now they got Eli Holstein from Alabama, and they're rolling. Now, does it come to a complete stop at some point? Probably.
Was he committed to Bama, or was he ever? Because he didn't. Did he transfer, or did he
I thought he
flip
transferred.
from? I know this is freshman season. I wasn't sure if he ever just if he red shirt and never snapped at Bama.
Yeah, I thought he redshirted.
That's probably what it is. I couldn't remember. But yeah, he ended up playing for them. He just never got any snaps.
Yeah, because they had like 2 4-star quarterbacks committed to him, which I thought was very interesting. But yeah. Yeah, they look pretty good. Now, we'll see kind of how good they are when they play Clemson because the ACC is trash. But again, this is another scenario. Tennessee needs these ACC teams to lose and keep losing.
Yeah. I mean, does Clemson have
That's going to piss me off, though, if, let's say, 3 ACC teams get in.
I refuse to let that happen.
Yeah.
Clemson does have to play South Carolina in their last game of the season, but it's at Clemson. But that could be one of those where South Carolina just gets lucky and beats them. That's ideal.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
And Clemson's got to get past Louisville this week. So there's still a lot of outs for the ACC. I wouldn't stress too much, but
okay.
Also, Pitt. If I got a buddy at Pitt, Pitt wins out, and Clemson wins out. Does Pitt
That
Clemson
can't happen.
not wins out,
wait.
but wins up? Okay, up to their game.
Okay.
And Tennessee and Georgia do the same thing. Who gets game day? You've got what, 9-0 Pitt versus 8-1 Clemson, who are probably both top 12 teams at this point.
How many Georgia and Alabama? They were game day, right? Was Georgia Clemson game day? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. No, because the only
Oh, they were not. Was that the Ireland game?
Oh, was it in Ireland? Was that the Dublin one? Because it was the kickoff game, but was it the one in?
That's kind of the week before. I don't think it was.
No, it was in
I don't
Atlanta.
know.
So they probably got I'm sure they probably got like the ceremonial, the August 31st kickoff, like game day. And I don't know how much that becomes a factor, but I mean, we were genuinely just kind of like, I was like, no, Georgia, Tennessee, and I sat there and I was like, I don't know, the way the SEC shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm game day, I probably it's just in Athens. That's the thing. Like if it was here, I think they would come here. They should have came here for Bama. That game was a lot better than the Texas-Georgia game.
I mean, if you take two, I know they're not going to both be undefeated, but if you just said undefeated Georgia, undefeated Pitt, which place am I picking? I'm taking Athens all day. But that's not how the storylines work. That's not
right.
If they went that way, we'd have different stuff. So I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Boise State, UNLV played on Friday. Boise State, Ashton Genty, 33 carries, 128 yards. They just keep winning.
Yeah.
That was a good game. But, they just keep winning. Oregon, Illinois. Oregon just thrashed Illinois. Wasn't even close.
They just look solid. Dylan Gabriel's favorited for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, they look good. And I hate that because I think it's crazy that they're that good. But whatever. We'll see when they play an SEC team at some point. Hopefully in the playoff. Penn State, Wisconsin. Penn State took care of business against Wisconsin. The game was looking, I think it was 10-7 at halftime. I was like, uh-oh. But I think this was just the week that every really good team just squeaks by. Like Boise State, Penn State, Ohio State, squeak by Nebraska.
As much as I like to call Penn State out on their BS and the fraud program, I mean, Drew Aller got hurt and their quarterback came in and finished the job and scored 18 points. So,
yeah, how long is he out? Do you know?
I have no idea. I haven't gotten an update on that situation.
Yeah, I'm interested in that because that's telling.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing we saw with Ohio State. I mean,
And then last week, Indiana destroys Nebraska, and then Ohio State almost gets beat by them a week later. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Ohio State where I'm just like, they're not very good.
I don't
Like,
think they
they're
are.
talented, but they're not good.
And I think it's unfair because I think that it's just trade years where like they are really good some years, and like it takes till the last 2 games of the season to see it. And then sometimes they suck, and then they get hype all the way up until those last 2 games, and it's like, oh, shocker! Like we've seen this coming all season. So
Yeah, like they're
probably gonna
good,
be
but
another
they're a
one of those
lot more
where you're like,
beatable than they have been.
Yeah. So I mean, and they were close against Oregon. So I mean, Penn State goes and takes care of business, then the Michigan game's essentially not even the same.
Yeah,
that it's been the past years anyway. But
then you had Texas Vandy, almost a crazy one in Nashville. I mean, it's kind of like Texas was in control like the whole time, but then Vandy like just kept hanging around, and I think they scored late and kicked an onside kick, and
yeah, they scored on the fourth and goal. Like just that game could have really been a 10-point game and kind of been over with the last like 5 minutes left, and
yeah,
probably wouldn't have the same reaction. But I think that was more on Texas than it was Vandy.
Like Pavia comes in and he does some good things, but he also does some things I'm like, dude, this dude's an idiot.
Yeah.
And I guess like Vanderbilt needs somebody like that. That's just like, I'm not scared to do anything. Like he's so unpredictable. I just couldn't believe Texas kind of let them hang around. I mean, they didn't run the ball very well. I don't know what it is. Like Vanderbilt's just kind of like a gritty team. They're weird.
Yeah, I think they're just like a hard team to play.
There's no one that's just super talented. Like Pavia is good, but he's not a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, Vandy's just weird. I think they just, again, it's like I said earlier, they just like to try to upset like the small or like the major teams that have playoff implications, because you literally you let Georgia State put up like 38 on you or something.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like they're like, oh yeah, Vanderbilt's pretty good. They did lose to Georgia State. Like Alabama let them get that one. Texas let them hang around. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I don't like nothing they do like is like good. No, but they somehow are just always in games.
Yeah.
Against really
that's what it felt like watching that game. I was like, they're playing like they should be down 30, but they're somehow not. And I'm watching it and I can't see where it's happening, like where the favor is going towards Vandy, except on a couple plays.
Yeah. Miami beats Florida State. Looks like Mike Norvell. There's no way he survives, right? I mean, they're 1-7. Not going bowling. The LSU Texas A&M game was really good. A&M kind of pulled away at the end, 38-23. I mean, it just felt like a game where LSU was just going to run away with it. And then Texas A&M's like, hold on. Let's just run the football and capitalize on Garrett Nussmeier mistakes. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
BYU keeps winning. That was the easiest bet of the week. I don't know how they're plus money, but
yeah, that was weird. And so many people I knew bet UCF because they were like, Vegas is never wrong. And I think Vegas double moved people. I think Vegas said, we're going to make you feel so stupid because we're going to put BYU at plus money and you're going to trust us so much that you're going to be like, trap game, UCF all day. And then they doubled you and were like, no, you were right. BYU is always going to win that game by double digits. But
I've hit two
move
pretty
by Vegas.
big parlays the last 2 weeks. I had a plus 1,500 2 weeks ago and a plus 11, almost 1,200.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not
I've
sure.
been on a heater. So, I mean, I'm going to lose it all next week. Can't wait. But I've been on a heater so far. I put 120 in the account the other day, and I'm up almost $300.
There you go.
In 2 weeks.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
I should golf back, dude. I got to start trying to bet on football. I had an easy parlay today, and all I needed was
I need to
Amon-Ra over 40 yards. He got 7 yards. Yeah. I got the Sam Laporta touchdown. I got the receptions. I got over on the rushing yards. Like I had Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery over rushing yards with a Sam Laporta touchdown and Sam Laporta over on receptions. And the Amon-Ra 40 plus was like minus 750. I don't even know why I threw it in there. I was just like, what's a fifth leg gonna hurt?
Yeah.
7 yards.
Dang.
So that was fun.
Yeah, this one it was a 4-legger. I had Colorado, they were plus 110. This is 2 weeks ago. LSU money line against Arkansas, Miami minus 5 against Louisville, and Missouri money line minus 155. And then the one I hit last night was Boise. I did Boise State money line against UNLV. Notre Dame minus 13.5 against Navy. That was easy cash. Penn State minus 245 against Wisconsin, and then BYU plus 110 against UCF. So, yeah, pretty good day at the office. Indiana just continues to win. Every time I doubt them, they just win. I did bet Washington on this. This is the only bet I lost yesterday. They're just hyping them up too much. I just think this is where they slip up. And then I remembered Will Rogers as their quarterback. I'm like, that was a dumb bet.
Yeah.
Missouri, shut the hell up. 34-0. I mean, that's horrible.
They stuck around in the first, 25 minutes of the game, and then just second half got sloppy.
Good. Yeah, good God. Kansas State squeaks by Kansas. Well, in-state rivalry. Things get weird.
Yeah.
And then Ole Miss, 26-14 over Oklahoma. I thought Oklahoma was going to do it. I don't know why they took this long to be like, oh, yeah, Jackson Arnold wasn't that bad. Tennessee's defense is just really good.
Yeah.
Our defense is so good, they made Brent Venables be like, our quarterback sucks. Let's get a new one in.
I love it.
Then SMU, 7-1. They beat Duke 28-27 in overtime.
Yeah, that was a thriller.
Oh, yeah, they blocked the kick.
Yeah, that was a wild ending. And then Duke had the chance for the 2-point conversion at the overtime, and then just
All right, let's do some most important.
Okay. Let's see. I think I have a bunch of fails. I don't even know about.
I'm gonna go Cedric Tillman, career day. 7 receptions, 99 yards, 2 tutties. One was the game winner from Jameis Winston.
Yeah, that was that was a solid ending. There was a lot of the games ended today, because I had some parlays going up, and with 4 minutes left, I felt pretty solid, and then 3 of them just switched real quick. Cardinals just beat the Dolphins, obviously the Browns with the Ravens. Texans took care of the Colts last second. So some of those games flipped last minute, and I was kind of like, oh, Dolphins definitely was a bad one.
Yeah.
And the Ravens losing to the Browns was also way worse. I mean, Dalton Connect won AB's award. I don't know if I can say it on, but
the cracker of the week.
Yeah, I feel like you can say cracker of the week. That's fine. Yeah, he got certified cracker. So shout out him.
Yeah, shout out. I don't know if you saw this, but do you see where Oregon State and Washington State are going to play each other twice in the 2025 regular season? They're going to play on November 1st at Oregon State and then November 29th at Washington State.
When was the last time that's even happened?
I don't know. That's crazy.
Like a home and home in the same season? Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Well, then Army and Navy is going to do it this year.
Yeah. Because if they end up. God, dude. And there won't be there probably won't be playoff implications at that point, but that'd be
Yeah.
wild if there was.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I don't have any more most importance. I don't know if you do.
I don't think so. I do have some fails. Oh, I do have one more most important. Did you see the Texas A&M police?
Yeah,
How
I'm just
they-
tweeting everything out.
Yeah.
Possession
There was one-
cocaine.
Yeah, intoxicated subject, section 132, released to sober friend.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just found the dude. They were like, all right, he's good. I mean, I thought the UT crime log was fun, like the 90-day crime log, and it's just like gives you names of people kicked out of the stadium and stuff. But just giving the section that they were kicked out of, I want pictures with these tweets or names at least.
Agreed. Yeah, we need like a just busted kind of thing.
But yeah, put them on crime. Put them on blast is awesome. I love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
No remorse for human life from Texas PD.
Savagery. Section 234, subject throwing beer on fans, ejected.
Oh my god.
All right, fail of the week.
I mean Missouri, but whatever.
You
them
weren't here on
relevant,
Thursday. We talked about their bowl-bound T-shirts.
Yeah, that was just
Horrible.
typical Dorkowitz move.
Yeah.
Did you see Dwayne Wade's statue?
Oh, dude.
For those that
Yes.
haven't seen it, I'll try to put it up. That might be closer to Udonis Haslam than it is to Dwayne Wade.
It looks like Dwayne Wade and LeBron had a baby.
And then the baby grew up to be 65 years old.
Yeah.
That's so bad. That sucks too. Like your whole family's there and stuff. I'm fully under I think the players should be every week getting sent updated models of what it's going to look like. Because if you're going to put a statue of me up outside of down there in Miami, you better believe I want it to be exactly what I want it to look like.
How is it so hard?
I mean, who are they hiring? I thought I see great statues. I'm not asking for like General Neyland or like Abraham Lincoln, but I think,
Right.
Something close.
I mean, this statue looks like Gary Payton now. Like not even when he played, like now.
No, yeah, Gary Payton now. Who was it that had a really bad statue like a couple years ago? It was like abysmal.
Oh, it was Ronaldo.
Oh God, it was Ronaldo. That one. Okay, that one like
That was way worse.
that one was way worse.
Should we just stop doing statues?
That's
because there's
crazy.
there's one of T. Martin on campus that looks nothing like T. Martin.
Yeah, and that for like T. Martin, I'm sure he just doesn't care, but that's just so bad.
Yeah. Did you see Tyreek Stevenson at the end of the Commanders Bears game?
No.
I mean, they're throwing the Hail Mary like in the middle of the play, and he's in the back of the end zone, like pointing at the stands, and they give it up. They give up the Hail Mary to lose. Yep.
I want to see a picture like that.
And it bounced off. Like he realizes, like when they're running to the end zone, he's like, "Oh crap!" And he runs over there, and it bounces off his hand and bounces backwards and lands in Commanders.
One of the Indiana players tonight also was like, I don't think it was zeros on the clock yet. And he like walked towards the student section down there and was like, I was like, dude, it's an exhibition game. Like you literally, these people paid for these
For charity.
donated to charity. Like, don't be that guy. We would have also totally like, I would have done it. So I'm but
Sure. Any more fails?
no, we'll wait to see the Kentucky game and I'm sure we'll find some good ones out of that.
Oh, did you see the college game day kicker blew out his knee and they had to go get somebody else to do it?
No.
I think this is real. So he is warming up and just acts like goes through a full kick, slips, comes down on his knee. And so apparently they went with somebody else.
Dude, they're trying to live right now. Oh man, you almost have to give him 100,000 just because you're like, I'm sorry. Well, dude, the way they have it set up out there, I'm always like, someone's literally tearing an ACL. It's on like slippery, fake turf. It's always on like awful grass.
Yeah.
Oh, was this the guy? Okay, this is just unathleticism. Oh my god. It looks like he could have blown out both knees.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that left plant foot just stayed planted.
Yeah, he
don't know if
was
he's
also
wearing
wearing a
cleats or
knee
not.
brace, so he probably should have like done this in the first place. It looks like they're already halfway torn.
Oh yeah, they did say that this was the backup kicker. Pat McAfee said apparently the first kicker Jake tore his ACL warming up, and that if the other guy he hit it, they would both get 100,000. The guy still missed.
He missed twice too. It was bad.
Now he's got to pay for an ACL surgery. That's absolutely brutal. That guy was not making that kick. If you see him, he was not making that kick.
No,
He was going to tear
hell
his
no.
ACL on the real thing no matter what.
Which would have been awesome.
That would have been so funny. What does Nick Saban do when a guy just tears his ligaments right in front of you?
Yeah. Speaking of tearing ACLs, I mean, Kirby Smart's out here riding on a helicopter, just like destroying grass
Yeah, he
at
got
these high
sucks.
school football games. It's also, he went to the Grayson South Gwinnett game. It's like an hour drive. Like, why are you taking a whole helicopter for that?
He's the Taylor Swift of college football. He's just
It's crazy.
he wants to burn that fuel.
I had a tweet, and it's kind of going viral.
Is it?
21K likes.
Was it recent?
It was about this. It was about so On3 tweeted the video of him like parking the helicopter on the field. And I said,
yeah,
Kirby
I've seen
rides in a helicopter because he's afraid of all the Georgia players driving on the road.
That rocks. Yeah, you got 1.2 million views. There you go, big dog.
Yeah, dude, getting my weight up a little bit.
There you go.
Need it.
I love that I like only use Twitter for viewing, and sometimes I just feel compelled to tweet, specifically sometimes at certain people. And like I know, like I try to garnish zero following on Twitter. Like that's not my attempt at all. But it's so fun. It's like a burner, but with my name on it. I just know that nobody's gonna see it, so I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna like say anything crazy. And that's why my name's on it, because I know I can delete it in 24 hours and be okay. But no one's ever gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Did Hendon Hooker get any? I mean, did he go in today when the Lions were just routing the Titans?
He did. I think he had 2 passes or something like that. It wasn't very long at all. But anything else?
Nothing crazy. Not
Awesome.
yet.
Guys, thank y'all for listening. We'll be back Thursday in studio. So be there and just stay tuned for all the content that we got coming to you guys. And let's go beat the hell out of Kentucky. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.